damn target. This is just stupid. Can you stay alive more than 1 second in any fight? No, 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 no. Come on. No. This is not hard. This is impossible. What were the devs thinking about? Hello everyone and welcome back to another video in Pathfinder Wrath of Righteousness. So this is going to be a basic video, I guess, for all your players out there that have maybe some issues attacking creatures and so on and monsters with really high AC and how to tackle that. So I'm just going to give you some basic combat tips in this video and hopefully you learn something. As usual, we are playing on hard difficulty here. So we're going to tackle this guy today. He's quite nasty, so we're just going to try first to attack him here with Arusole. We can summon some monsters here.
What's on your mind? I wonder.
Let's see how it goes. Miss. 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 And she got knocked down. So that was not really great. So let's do this fight again. So first let's take a little bit a look on his stats here. So you can put on the inspector down here and have a little look on him. So he is quite hard, this monster. So his AC is 45 right now, and that is what we are gonna try to overcome here. And let's take a look at Arusole's attack here. She has 19 right now. She has some more when she attacks that don't show up here, but she has 19, meaning even if I roll a 19, she will miss. So I can just roll a 20 to hit, because neutral 20 will always hit the target. So we really need to buff this up. So what can we do here? So let's go back to my party here and start. So first of all,
I'm prepared.
dexterity. More dexterity will buff more attack. A higher attack. So we can buff here Cat's Grace. I don't have currently Cat's Grace spell equipped, so I use a scroll here instead. Okay, so that's first. Also, here is greater. That will add +4 to my attacks here, and some other bonuses. I'm currently level 12 here on my party, so if you don't have access to it yet, there is a normal heroism that gives +2 that you can use instead. So let's buff that one. You can use the reduce person if you really need to boost. That will give even more dexterity and even more higher attack. I don't really want to do that on Arusula here because she used strength as modifier to her damage, and that will lower the damage as well. But in case you really need to buff, you can use this. It's really good on me here because I'm a rogue, and as a rogue I only do damage and hit with my dexterity modifier. So that's great to put on me here. Let's see. So what more can we do here? We can of course use a prayer that will give +1 luck. And we can use this one, Burst of Glory, that it gives 1 sacred attack. This is a really good buff to have. Greater magic weapon. If you don't have access to that yet, you can use normal magic weapon. So normal magic weapon will give you +1 to attacks, enhancement to your weapon. So if you take a look at her weapon right now, you see enhancement +2 there because this specific weapon has +2 enhancement. So greater magic weapon can buff your enhancement bonus up to 5. So if you get a better weapon later on that is 5, that will not do anything. But if you have 4 or lower, or 5 or lower than 5, it will buff up. So this is a really good buff to have. And as she uses a bow, you can use both on primary and secondary. So I will buff her with a primary because she uses a bow. Okay. So right now we have buffed her to 29. Still, I can of course turn off the lame here to get an additional 4 if you need to, but I will lose out a lot of damage then. What else can we do here? So let's take a look at Sheila here. As you might know, she has Smite Evil that will give Sheila her charisma bonus to her attack rolls and also her paladin level to damage rolls. But this is just for her. But later on you get this one, Mark of Justice. What will this do? This will do the same thing, but it will buff your entire party. So what we want to do here, we want to buff her charisma up somewhere. So currently she has 18, so a modifier of 4. So if we buff charisma here, and she has now 5. So that's good. Also, your ruthless damage comes from strength, so we can buff bull strength here. I have the mass spells here, but you can take a lesser one if you don't have access to this yet. Okay, starting to look good here now. Some other spells here that is good on her specific. So we can add the Hurricane Bow here for more damage. We can add Sense Vitals to do some extra sneak damage. This spell is really good if you have an animal companion with you. She doesn't have it, but I have it here. So this is like magic weapons, but for animal companions. So I can buff that on him, even if I'm not going to use him here. But so that's a great buff to have. Also, she has something called favorite enemy. So by default, the game has leveled up her favorite enemy as Demon of Magic here, as you see, and also Undead. And this specific guy here is not a demon, but we have this spell here, Instant Enemy. So it does exactly the same that those abilities she has on any creature. So we will put that up to get additional attack and damage on the target. Also, we can use query here to get an insight bonus on attack rolls on him. And the good thing with this one, and also if you attack a demon, magic demon in this case, you can use this spell, same as Sheila had, for your party.
Please,
to give half your bonus to your party. So let's try this fight again. Also, as a last buff, I'm gonna use the haste here. Currently, I don't have any character with me here that has that buff, so I have a scroll for it as well. But it's always good to have haste with you. I will buff that, and also it's a short buff, so I will do that last. Okay, I will get back a bit here with my party. I will try to tank some here with my summons, and Sheila will cast Mark of Justice, and I will start with query here. Okay.
I will resist.
So we have the query, Mark of Justice on. Also got sick in there. It's good. I will sacrifice Sheila here, I guess. So just gonna demonstrate the damage here. I will move back with my rest of my party. And we're gonna cast instant enemy. Let's see here now for the damage. He's going down. And there he is down. And as you see, he won't die. Because he has regeneration 20. Remove regeneration, fire. So we need to cast a fire spell on him. So we can bring back Ember here, I guess. And there he dies. So let's have a little bit of look at the log here. So this is the first hit here. And as you can see, her modifier is 42. So we went from 19 to 42 with just some simple buffs here. And here armor was 45. So yeah, almost every hit will hit here. And the two biggest one here is the three biggest one. Here is +4. Favorite enemy, +6, and Mark of Justice, Smite Evil, +5. So even if you fully buff up and so on, it can be really good against bosses and special creatures and so on. That can be quite hard to take down. It's not very efficient to do that in like dungeons, big dungeons with a lot of trash mobs. Because you will run out of those specific spells that really buff you up to overcome the AC. So what else can you do in that case? So let's take a look at this fight here, for example. So we have these guys here. His AC is currently 47, and if I try to attack him here now,
Your time is over.
not very good at all. As you see, we can take a little bit of look at the log here. So my current modifier is 32, so I have buffed up quite good here as well. I not used the short term buffs here. So my modifier is 32 and his armor class is 47. Meaning I really need to roll high here to be able to hit at all. So it's quite hard. So what else can we do then? So as you see here, his flat-footed defense.
Go for their heart.
is only 38 here, so it's quite a lot lower than his normal AC. So how can we target that? So there's a really good spell, feat, called Shatter Defenses. What this do is that any target that is shaken, frightened or panicked, you can attack them as they are flat-footed. So how can we do them flat-footed? We can do demoralize on them so they get shaken. To get this specific feat, you need to take first dazzling displays, first weapon focus. Then you need to take dazzling displays, and then you can take it. To cast demoralize, you can use this specific ability here. Here, dazzling displays, and that will make a persuasion check on everyone around me and try to demoralize them. The problem with this specific is that it's a full round to use, as you see there, casting time, meaning that I will miss out of the one full round to attack while they are flat-footed. And also, if you hit with this ability, they will get shaken for one round, and an extra round for every 5 you overcome their save throw. So it depends how high you have in persuasion. So if you take a look at me here, I have a 26 in persuasion. You can take, if you want, dazzling displays mythic feat here to avoid the use of full round for demoralizing shouts, the dazzling displays. The problem with this is that you will get to penalize with 5 if you use it as standard action. You will get, if you use it as a move action, you get -10, and as a swift action, -20. So it's just harder and harder to hit with this one. Also, later on, you can take something called Dreadful Carnage here. What this will do, if you are the one who kills the target, you can, as a free action, use Demoralizing Shout, the dazzling displays, on everyone around you. For me, the problem is that to get this feat, you need to have 15 in strength and have power attacks. So me as a rogue, I won't go up in strength to take this. But if you have a character that you have really high in persuasion in, and like a strength character that do like a fighter or something, you can take this as well. It will work just fine. So it's better to have that skill on someone else. So take a look at Darren, for examples. His currently persuasion is 43 right now. So I did spec some feats for that, as you see, the other persuasive and a skill focused persuasion. And I also have this item here, Signet of House of Vespertillo. What this do, you can use this once per day. It will reset when you rest. You can add 5 extra skill points to any skill here, and that buff lasts for 1 hour. So that buffs up my persuasion check really high. So if I try to demoralize this guy here now, using this ability here, demoralizing, and I succeeded. I rolled a 16, modifier 45, and his DC is 26. So it's a quite high above his DC here, and that's good, because the debuff will last longer than. As you see here, it's shaking for 48 seconds here. Meaning, now I can use my character here, and I can attack him flat-footed.
You offend me.
And there is a much easier time for me to hit here now. Let's take a look here. The first one. So I rolled 14, modify 31, 45, and flat-footed 38. So that's a really good feat to have to attack them flat-footed. What else can you do? So I don't have that feat currently on Urusla here. So if I cast greater invisibility here on her, So you get invis. You can attack him here.
Make your peace.
And let's take a look. Let's see here. Yeah. So just roll a 2 here, but you can see flat-footed. So if you are in this, you can attack them flat-footed as well. So that's also really good. I'm gonna take Shattering Defense on her as well later on, so I don't need to cast Greater Invis. But that is a really good spell to use that way, to attack them flat-footed. So it's a good idea to go really high in stealth for that. So she has 54 here, so it's quite high. So it's not that easy because of 20 extra there for invisibility greater as well. So it's really good to go high in stealth, because if they do a stealth check you can easily overcome it so they don't see you. So you can continue to attack them flat-footed. Also, if you use a lesser invisibility than greater, so we just take invisibility here on Sheila, and we attack him here. She will never hit because I just focused her as a tank. But let's take a look at the first hit here. Flat-footed. But her second hit here, his armor class is back again to normal. So it's just for the first hit, because you get the C after that. So you can use the lesser ones if you have like a character with a big two-hand or something, that with a cleave or something, that do a really good hit one time. Or you can use Greater Invis if you have it. So that's some options you have at least. So that was a little bit about weapons and how to overcome high AC and so on. But what about spells? So let's go back to our friend Mr. Tree here and have a look. So first of all, we can use touch spells, both ranged touch spells and melee touch spells. And you see his AC for that is only 21 here, so it's quite low here compared to his AC here and flat-footed. Also, the problem here is that if you're going to use spells, you need to overcome spell resistance if they have any. And this guy has quite high, 31. So what can we do in this case to overcome this one, both these values? So Ember here is actually a really good caster when it comes to range touch attack for touch and melee. Let's have a look at some of her abilities here. So she starts with point blank shot and with precise shot. So when you cast touch spells, for range you use your dexterity modifier and range attack modifier to hit, to target the touch ID and the touch AC. So you can count all this in except the buffs that you have on your weapon specific. So then weapon enhancement here, or if the weapon has anything, you need to remove that from that attack because you use your hands. But all buffs and so on still counts. So point blank shot helps with +1 for that to hit. And this one is really important, precise shot, because if you try to cast a ranged touch spell into combat, meaning if you have like your tank or anyone else next to them, you will get a penalty, -4. But with precise shot, that will be removed. So those two feats are really great that she starts with for this build. Then we need to focus all in here on to overcome spell resistance. So spell penetration, my +2 to overcome that. Greater spell penetration, +2. Also taking here Metamagic and Power Spell to make my spell stronger. Same here, Metamagic Maximize Spell to make it stronger. And for my Mythic path here, spell penetration Mythic, and this will add my full Mythic rank here to my penetration. So currently it's 3, so this will go up even more, up to 10 later on. I did also take here favorized Metamagic Maximize. What that do is, so for examples, you take Scorching Ray here, Metamagic. So Scorching Ray is a level 2 spell here. If I use Metamagic Empower, it's level 4, and Maximize spell, level 6. Usually this will be level 7 if I use these two. But due to I did take Mythic Path here, Maximize, it will reduce by 1 level. So I will take the other one later on for the other one to reduce 1 level. So I can maximize higher spells later on to be efficient. Also I did take an Ascendant Element, Fire. What this will do, so this is energy resistance, so don't confuse it with spell resistance. They can still have element resistance to fire, like 20, so 20 of the damage is removed, or they may be immune to fire, then your fire spells are useless. But with this one, that is not a problem anymore. It will ignore that for that specific element, so fire in this case, because her damage spells will come from fire. So really good time to take care. Also, when it comes to item here, I have this Ring of Pyromania. This will add bonus fire damage to all. Every time I hit the target with fire spells, it will do extra fire spells. And also, most important here, +2 bonus to caster level to overcome spell resistance. Robe of this robe, +2 on spell penetration as well. And this item last, the Covenant of Inheritor. You get this in Act 1. Gives the entire party actually +2 caster level check to overcome spell resistance, and also makes every weapon good aligned. So this is a really, really good item to have. So don't give it to the queen, even if you attempted to do so. It's better fitted for you. It's a really good item to have. While we talk about that item, you need to turn it on so you get the buffs. It has a bad habit to turn itself off all the time. So when you reload a game or when you zone and stuff, so you need to click on that all the time. I usually have it here so I can see it. So I don't have this up. Okay, so currently I have buffed her only with Reduced Person to get an extra on attack and some extra dexterity. So her modifier here is +5. As you see, Reduced Person there. So I buffed some. I can buff more if I need to, but I don't need to in this case. And I also did give her Here is Greater to get 4+ attack. So this will overcome his touch. I will have 21 with this buff. So the only thing I can miss on with this is if I roll a 1. That is always a miss. What I can do about that is cursor. That you have fortune. So if I put that on myself, if I can reroll if I miss. So if I put it on myself before combat, we have that. So I'm at attack roll there. And if you really want to be a little bit cheesy, you can use Cackle as many times as you want here. You can spam it. You can even put up this on everyone here if you want. You can do the same with Protective Luck. So every time you do this Cackle, it will increase the time here. So it's 33 seconds now instead of 6 seconds. And you can continue to do that all the time. If you want. It's a bit cheesy, but it's good to know. And that should be on. So even if I roll a 1 right now, it will be re-rolled, and if I roll a 1 again on the same, then I will miss. So it's unlikely that I will miss now. So I will use Scorching Ray here. I use both Metamagic here on it, meaning that it will use 4d9 here instead of 4d6, and every dice will be 9. So I will have full damage here. So let's cast it and see what happened. Okay, some nice damage there. 56, 56, 56. And plus some additional damage below, as you see. That was the ring. So let's take a little bit of a look about hits here. So this is first the roll against the target. So he has a touch 21 and my bonus is 21. So as you see here, fortune, I rolled 10 and 3, so I take the best one, plus 21. So I won't miss. Second one here, you see here, I overcome the spell resistance. So I have modified my spell resistance all the way to 27 here. That's quite high for this level. I'm only level 13 here. 12 actually. So 27, also I rolled 20, but as you see here, his spell resistance is 31. So I need to roll a 4 or more to hit. So it's quite good odds here to hit that spell. And you see the fortune is with me all the way here. So really, it's really minimum. So that's a really good thing to use touch spell this way to overcome the resistance and so on. So really focus on that. So while we talk about Ember here and her build, so we can go through some other good spells here to use on her in this spec. So due to we have gone so high focus on the spell penetration, we haven't really got into like heightened spell meta magic and focus magic and stuff like that to higher the DC and the difficulty class on the spell. So for example, if you take a look at Fireball here, difficulty class 20. So that is not buffed. So it almost all the time reflects with half this damage. So spell like this is not very efficient. You can still use them, of course, but we're better off focusing on touch spells here. So let's go through some things that can be good here. So first of all, Snowball. This doesn't affect spell resistance, so that is good. Still, we have maximized that, but the good thing about this is that Fortitude negates staggered condition. So if the difficulty class is only 18 on this spell, so most of the time Fortitude will negate at this level, because most of the monsters will negate this. But it's a touch attack, and the only thing you need to overcome here is the ranged attack. That is quite easy on the touch AC. And it will do full damage. Because it doesn't reduce as half as this ones do on a save. It only removes the staggered one here. So I have only used Maximize here on it. You can use it on Sheila, for example. It do 46 damage. So it's quite good. And a reliable spell. You don't need to maximize it, of course. You can use it like a level 1 spell. Still, really good here. So that's a good spell to have at the start and when you level up with this build. Next thing here.
Oh, the waiting's never fun.
You're a good person. I like you.
Pernicious poison. I can't pronounce that really. So this is also targeted by spell resistance. And it will lower the resistance against poisons by 4. It has no save at all, so the only thing you need to do is overcome the spell resistance. I will come back to that, why that can be good here. Next spell here. Spit Venom. Also a touch attack. Ranged. This can be really good. So Fortitude is not affected by spell resistance either, so it's really good. Fortitude is partial here. So the really good thing about this is that if you hit this with a touch attack, that is quite easy, it will call blindness for 1 round. So why is blindness so good? So we can test it out here. Sorry, Sheila. So she did a fortitude save here, as you can see. Yep, but she is blinded right now. And why is blinded good? So you take -2 penalty to armor class, so you will lower that. So it's good for overall. But the really good thing here, lose dexterity bonus to AC. Hello, Mr. Flatfooted, our best friend. Or it's not exactly as Flatfooted, but it's the same AC as Flatfooted. And that is a really, really good thing to have, because even if they do a save, they get blinded. So if you're up against some really hard boss, and they're not immune to poison, this can be a really good way to attack them flat-footed if you don't have any other options. And also, when they are blinded, they will miss 50% of their attacks. So it's a really, really good spell to have. And you might think, oh, why don't you just use blindness or glitter dust or something? Yeah, you can do that. So take a look here. The problem here is that fortitude negates the full blindness, and you need to overcome the difficulty class 19 here. So we don't have heightened spell, we don't have gone spell focus and stuff like that in Necromancy to really buff this up to like 29-30 that it really needs to be right now to hit the hard boss or something at this level. So sure, you can use it, but if the target can't negate this, that target is probably not that dangerous and you can kill it anyway quite easy. And it's same with glitter dust. Will negate blinding, the blind stuff of it. So, and the difficulty is only 19 here. So we haven't spell focus on that in this build. So that's why this one is so good, because it can't be neglected. They can't resist it if you hit with a touch attack. Another thing here is that she resists that now. And what did it negate is the black venom stuff on it. That can be really good. So if you use this one here. So as you can see also, this spell is on touch ranged, meaning it will use the strength modifier here as an attack, and that's -2 instead of the dexterity here. So it's a difference with 7 here. So what can we do about that? So the best way to fix that, you can use the metamagic for that, so it make it 1 step to range, or you can just use simple wands for that, and the rods. So if I click this right now, you see the yellow here is like melee touch, and my attack will be much lower because I use strength modifier. But if I use the rod here, you see the yellow is all the way out here, so it's ranged. And if you use my dexterity modifier in this case. So if you put that on seal here, yeah, so you got blinded. Also, we can use Evil Eye, saving throws on her. And we can talk a little bit about the last spell here, Innovation. What this will do, it will lower the level on the target. So also a ranged touch attack. So you only need to overcome the attack and spell resistance. And I have used Maximize on it, so it's 1d4, so it will guarantee lower 4 levels here. Sorry. Excuse me, Sila. -4 levels. Yep. So we have the poison on, we have the negative level on. She did resist the Evil Eye here, because, and even if she does that, and cast it again. So saving throw succeeded again. So what you can do, if you do that, now she has it on her. If you take a look, Evil Eye. So a saving throws are -4 from this, -4 from this, and -4 from this. So it's 12 on the saving throws here, as you see. You don't see one of them, I can show you. So if I use poison here now,
Soot is restless. I wonder why.
this time she failed. As we can take a look. -4 from Evil Eye, -4 from the Penanius Poison, and -4 for negative level. So you have lowered her defenses against poison specific here for 12. But Evil Eye can be hard to hit. It's only a difficulty class of 33. But you can have it on
You can trust
Camellia here if you want. I don't have it right now. But if you take Evil Eye on her, and it's also faster to debuff. So she can just debuff this one first, negative level, or maybe, and she can use the other one. And this will really lower. So we can cast this spell one more time. We can stack it. That's a good thing about this one. I'm afraid she will die now. That's fine.
No reason to pause.
And even more down. And we can continue cast Evil Eye. So you can really lower on a hard buff, or on a hard boss or something, the saving throws. As you see, you can stack negative level. And also when you get higher level, you can use the Empower Metamagic on it as well. So it will get even stronger. So 6 here. So why is this good? Even if you don't need to use the poison, you can just use the negative level. So if you have a Nenu with you, for example, or if you are a caster yourself, you can really debuff the saving throws on targets and enable your casters in your group to really hit your spells. So that's why she's a really good debuffer in this way. And as you saw before, she can use her fire spells as well. So that's a really good thing. So you can like cast this several times on a hard fight, and you can hit them with really tough spells. Next spell here, Vampiric Touch, also a touch spell. Be aware of that this specific spell, what I read on forum and so on, this is a bug. But you can't use Metamagic on it, and you should be able to do that. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comment below about this, but from my read, this is a bug that has been reported, and it should be able to do that. But still, it's a good damage spell, and you only need to overcome the spell resistance. And you can self-pass yourself with this, so you can cast that Camilla. And you get some extra temporary HP. So even for a hard fight, you can do that on yourself. She doesn't get just some, you can just heal it up, so it doesn't matter.
We'll make things right.
And you can also combine that examples with aid here. So you have 51 temporary HP here now. So that's a really good spell to have, both as a damage and as a self buff before a fight, a tough fight.
Trust in yourself.
And also, we don't care about the DC here. Every spell here doesn't care about the DC, the difficulty class. It only care about the touch attack and the spell resistance. Next spell in the list. Wave of Fatitude. So this is only spell resistance. It doesn't care about the attack at all. So we can use it on poor Sela here again. And she will get Fatitude. So there's a cone, so we'll hit like many mobs. Don't cast on yourself. What will this do? So it will lower a penalty on strength and dexterity by 2. That is okay. It's not the best, so it will lower some attack and some damage from the monsters. But the really good thing here is that this one, Ray of Exhaustion, this also has a spell penetration to overcome, and is a touch attack. And Fortitude is partial here. What that means is that if they do a Fortitude save, they will get Fatitude. But if the target is already Fatitude, they will get exhausted. Or if they fail the Fortitude, they will get exhausted right away. So if you cast this now, and what does it do? So -6 penalty to strength and dexterity. So that is much better actually. So it will lower the target's attack and damage with quite a lot. So you can use this first on if you have a boss fight with ads or something on everyone, and you can use this one specific on the boss to lower, or some other trash mob or whatever, to lower the attack and the damage. So these two combination. So it's two costs to do what this do without the Fortitude save, but still it's a good combination to do this way, because here as well we don't have a very high difficulty class, so they will most of the time overcome it. And as I said, you still have your fire spells and so on here, and later on you can take spell focus and so on your other feats here if you want. And also in Mythic Path focus more, so you can buff up spells like this. So this is just examples, of course. This is not the ultimate build guide or something like that. I just wanted to show you all the touch thing that can be really good here. There is one touch that you should look out for. It's this one. It's a really good one. But this specific one is, first you need to overcome the touch. It's okay. Spell resistance is okay. But Fortitude negates totally here. So, and it has a difficulty class at 21, and you can't use meta magic on it. So this will be really hard to hit this spell. It will lower constitution. It will do the constitution damage per round on quite a lot here. So if you really want to hit this spell, you can. But then you need to do as I showed you, lower the, maybe use innovation several times. And it's a disease, I don't think that will cover poison. You can test it.
I will help where I can.
She still have it. Yep. I think she will die now. Oh.
Sod is restless. I wonder why.
There it is.
Esmo, Axe, yes.
She's immune. Okay. But you can see here. No, so evil eye and the negative level. So this is not the poison. But if you use evil eye, some negative levels, lower the saving throw, you can use that as well. But it's much harder. So let's talk about the other spells then. That is more depending on AC, DC. I mean, difficulty class. So we have Nenny with us here now. So let's take a little bit look what we have done with her. So she starts with spell focus, illusion, and spell penetration. So that is really good for spells. Spell penetration is also good here as well. But spell focus here is more for using to overcome the DC when you target saving throws, like will defense and so on. So if you compare Ember and Nenyo, Nenyo is much better to focus spells like that use the DC to overcome rather than the touch spells. I see many guys out there when they build Nenyo, the first thing they take here is point blank shot, and the other one to attack for touch spells. I don't really see the point of that. Of course, if you want to go for touch spells on her, that's fine to do that, but you lose out on so much DC spells instead if you do that. So what I have done here, I did after this one, I did take greater spell focus illusion and also greater spell penetration. Then I did take heightened spell here, because that is really important to higher the spell to higher level to really raise the DC of it. After that I did take elemental focus. I did take cold here just for fun. You can take whatever you want here, but I did take cold. But if you want to go for fire spells or electric or poison or something like that, feel free. But fire is more for ember, so I did take cold here. So raise the difficulty even more here. And here I did take bolster spell to do some more damage with my spells here. Also in Mythic Path I did take, this is really important, Expanded Arsenal Magic School Evocation. So what did I take this for? Because then I can choose another school that I already lifted here. So I already have a spell focus illusion here. So if I take that also here, all my evocation school will get the same. So I can use, because illusion spell is really good on her, and until you get this, you can use illusion school spells to be efficient, and also she has many buffs and so on, so you can use. So later when you get this, I can focus more on evocation spells to really hit with them as well, without really need to take any spell focus in that. Also, I want to cast many spells with her, so I did take him on casting and improve him on casting here to cast more spells. So take a little bit of look at her spells. So what I've taken here, as you might know, she can learn every spell she has here. So if you don't pick it when you level up, you can just get the scroll and learn it. So yeah, if you want some specific. So I have taken all the illusion spells here. Also did take some frost spells, Cone of Cold here, and Ice Storm and some other stuff here to test it out. So what I've boasted here, also I have some items here. This stuff is really good. You get it in Act 1, I can't remember exactly where, but it gives 1 plus DC for all will saving throws that you use, and all her illusion spells is more or less will saving. So this is a really good stuff to have on her. I also have this one if I want to cast some fireballs I can swap to. I have this necklace, plus 2 DC for all saving throws against mind affliction affecting. So that boosts also quite a lot for her illusion spells. I only had this one plus 2 to intelligence. So also why she is a much better DC caster than Ember, because she has so much more in int than Ember has in charisma. And that is the main thing to really raise the DC of the spell. So that's why Ember is much better off with as a touch spell caster, and Nennu is a much better off cast as a DC caster. I think this ring also, yeah, DC of illusion schools here plus 2. So this is a really good ring as well. So what did I do here? For examples, I did raise up this one, Fantastic Killer here, to all the way to 31. It's actually 32 with the staff. You can't see the staff here. And as usual, we have this. I did put up Cone of Cold here, so you see here 27, not as much as this one, but still much higher than you normally have. So I have some frost spells here, I have some mind spells here, and why I did take bolster here instead of as the meta magic. This only raised level by 1. Empower is of course stronger than this one, but this one is really good for spells that has many dices. So this, for examples, cost 1d6 point of damage and plus extra DCs for the level you have. So maximum 15 d6 here. So I'm currently level 13. So Bolster Magic will do extra 26 damage here. So you need to count that in. So bolster here is really good, and heighten as well is really important to be able to hit the spells. So let's take a little look what we can do with this. So let's take a little bit look here what we can do here. So this specific fight can be quite nasty, quite hard, and we really need to take out some key monsters here. This guy here, for example, casts really nasty spells, and if you take a look at him here, his will defense is 18, quite high, and his fortitude is 16, not as much. But so if you take a look here at my fantastic killer here, I boost it all the way up to 31. And also right now put my both my character Camellia and Nino in this here, so I don't pull aggro. And
Well,
we can start with Evil Eye here to lower the defenses, and I can cast them same time here because Evil Eye will cost first. Let's see. And good night to him. Also, his friend here that was in this before is also quite nasty. He cast this spell and instantly kills me here now. But we can do the same. I just had one prepared, but his defense is much lower. Will 14 and fortitude 13. So I think I can use a normal one here. Let's see if we can kill him as well. And there he dies as well. So right now we just have these guys here and the boss is coming from here. We can back up. And then we can use the rest of the team to finish them off.
Out of my sight!
We have this guy here. So his defenses is really high. Will 28, reflex 30, fortitude 22. And spell resistance high. But Flatfooted here, 26. Our old friend. And he's not immune to mind afflicting. So let's do this. And he has detecting this.
I will see to your demise!
No, it doesn't. So let's cast Greater Invisibility on Jerusalem here. And if you wonder what's happening here, that's some mind control I have. Still, yes, die. We can also take a look at the other spells here that we have prepared. So, for example, Phantasmal Web here, difficulty class 29. This guy doesn't have that much will, so 13. So should be able to hit that quite easily.
I refuse to accept their statement.
Yep. So we can use Cone of Cold there. The reflex value is like 9 here. 10 and 11. Just be careful, he won't kill me now, but you can just demonstrate. And it does quite a good of damage here, as you see, with the bolster damage and all that. So, some good ways here to use illusion spells with some evocation spells. What you focus on as the evocation. Just keep in mind, if you don't take evocation, if you want to go for, say for examples, enhancement spells. All enhancement spell more or less is mind affliction and target will defense as well. So I don't really recommend go that, because then you only have spells that target will defense. And if the targets are really high on will and or immune to mind affliction, you don't have anything to cast. So it's better off to have that on some other characters maybe. So we are going to end this video with some bonus footage here. This is just to demonstrate my specific build here on my rogue. I'm currently building a rogue hunter build. I did previous video about this up to level 9, and it had worked out pretty good up to level 9. Many people point out it's not going to work any longer because my pet is going to get one shot and so on. But for now I'm level 13. It has been very well played up to level 13. I have done this is the last thing I do in Act 3. I have no issues at all. So we're just gonna end with some fighting scenes here. Also I'm gonna do a full video when I complete the game as promised. But until next time, have a nice day.